How to sing high notes. 3 secrets to singing high notes. The body secret, the soul secret, and the mind secret. And finally, 2 exercises. This is Eleonora, and I'm Pierre.
Eleonora, I have a question, or rather said, a strange problem. The more I want to sing high notes, the more it just doesn't work.
That's because you're not using a holistic approach.
A what?
A holistic approach. That means body, mind and soul working together. You're a whole person, Pierre. You know, we had a famous teacher in Switzerland called Pestalozzi almost 300 years ago who said the famous words, we must teach with head, heart and hand.
That was 300 years ago. Then they still taught through beating up the kids.
No, he never even thought of that. He was a loving man. I could take myself as an example. I should also teach with head, heart and hand. Today we would speak of body, soul and mind. As human beings and as singers, we all consist of body, soul and mind. We need the mind for thinking, we need the soul for feeling, and we need the body for acting, in our case for singing. If one part overpowers the others, things go out of balance. In this case, it sounds like your will is doing all the work. You want so hard to sing the high note that your wanting, that is your body, becomes a lonely wolf. It has lost the participation of the others.
I don't quite follow. What does a lonely wolf have to do with my singing?
Do you know that wolves hunt in packs?
Of course I know. Yes, it is true that wolves typically hunt in packs. The social hunting strategy allows them to take down larger prey like deer, elk and bison, animals that would be difficult or impossible for a lonely wolf to tackle. Pack hunting also increases their success rate and allows them to protect their territory and food more effectively.
That is also kind of true for your singing.
I am not hunting deer through singing.
But you're hunting for the high note, right?
Yes, in a way I am hunting for the high note.
And now you have the same challenge as wolves have. On their own they can do lots of stuff, but when they are hunting for large prey, they only get there through cooperation.
So you mean when I want to sing high notes, I'm like a lonely wolf who lost the cooperation of the others?
Exactly.
But then who am I and who are the others in this case?
You are your will and the others are your mind and your soul.
Nice picture. But what does my will have to do with my body? You spoke about body, mind and soul, not will, mind and soul.
Someone once said, wanting without action is mere dreaming. The great philosopher Schopenhauer insisted that wanting and acting are the same thing. You do not act without wanting to act. If you are really wanting, you are already acting.
Understood. But my body, what does my body have to do with all of that?
Because without body you cannot act. Your body is needed for every single of your actions.
So you say when I absolutely want to sing high notes, I am like a lonely wolf. My wanting is the same as my body. It lost the cooperation of mind and soul?
That is so true. When you push too much air, your vocal folds either blow apart or you squeeze them tightly together to resist the pressure. Both create tension. When you say squeeze, you're likely tensing your throat, pushing more air, maybe even lifting your chin.
Yes, it feels like I have to reach for the note.
That's classic high note survival mode. But here's what's actually happening. Your larynx rises too high and that pulls in tension from all the surrounding muscles. You're making it harder to sing, not easier.
So it's not helping me get to the note?
Not at all. To sing high, your vocal folds need to stretch and thin out smoothly. But squeezing everything around them just locks them up. It blocks the natural coordination.
Sometimes it even feels like my throat's closing.
That's your pharynx narrowing. When that happens, resonance disappears. You lose that open ringing sound. A full, free high note needs space, internally.
So it's not just about hitting the note, it's about how the sound travels?
Exactly. And here's another layer. When you push too much air, you increase subglottic pressure, that is the pressure beneath the vocal folds. That slams them together too hard. It makes singing harder, and over time, it can wear out your voice.
No wonder I feel hoarse after practicing.
Likely because your tongue and jaw are tightening too, choking off the sound even more. You see? All the things that feel like helping are actually sabotaging you.
Wow, so everything I thought was helping is just making it worse?
Yes, your wanting was turning into a dictator. And then the two others just left him alone.
Still, all the action is in the body. No singing without my vocal folds vibrating. I can think love and sing a wonderful melody, and I can think hate and still sing as nicely.
That is true for your conscious mind. It is true as long as you do not look at your unconscious processes.
What do you mean?
Think of it this way. Everything starts with a thought. That thought sinks down into the soul and the soul passes it on to the body. But if the soul doesn't agree with the thought, it won't act. It won't pass it down to the body. End of cooperation.
Like, for example?
For example, I think I should drink a glass of milk every morning. Drinking milk is good for my health. This message goes down to my soul. But my soul thinks I hate milk and doesn't pass the message on when I'm lucky. But it could be worse. My soul could say, tell her we don't want milk, and the body starts throwing up.
So, my body won't respond to my wanting to sing high notes if my soul's not on board? Now I leave Eleonora for 6 seconds and talk to you directly. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps the channel and you'll never miss a new video. Back to Eleonora. So my question was... So, my body won't respond to my wanting to sing high notes if my soul's not on board?
Exactly.
And what can I do about it?
If it doesn't work, you should start to speak the language of the soul.
The soul is where the feelings happen. Should I speak in feelings?
No, it is a bit more complicated. The mind speaks in logic, sentences, instructions, and the soul doesn't understand logic. It immediately turns your thoughts into images, which then turn into feelings. It then conveys the message, which it understood to the body, but beware, the word not does not exist for your soul.
I am afraid I need more explanation.
Do me a favor. Do not think of a red elephant now. Absolutely do not think of a red elephant. For heaven's sake, don't think of a red elephant sitting on the sofa. What do you see in your mind's eye?
A red elephant on the sofa. I never thought about a red elephant in my life. Red elephants don't exist, but now I do.
This is because your soul doesn't understand the word not. Want another example?
Yes, please.
Don't think of a horrible ape choking your throat.
Horrible example. I see an ape choking my throat and I can feel it.
Yeah, now try to sing high notes.
Ho, ho, ho. So I see an ape choking my throat and now I try to sing.
Have you been able to sing high notes now?
Of course not.
So let's take that lesson back to singing. For high notes, I think of freedom. Imagine a dam opening, letting a waterfall flow effortlessly. That's the kind of image the soul understands, and once the soul agrees, it tells the body what to do.
And the body just responds?
Yes, and we don't even need to understand the body's language. The soul handles that translation. All we need to do is present the right message.
That's a beautiful way to think about it.
Now try to sing with this image in your head, like a dam opening and the waterfall just comes out. Okay, let's ground it with 2 simple exercises. First, a siren, but start from the top and slide down.
Wait, I've been doing sirens from the bottom up. Is that not right?
It's not wrong, but sirening down first is often more effective. When you start high and slide down, your voice releases tension naturally. No forcing. You let the note happen instead of grabbing it.
So it is more relaxed.
Exactly. Like sliding down a hill instead of climbing up. You're using gravity, ease and flow.
I usually feel more secure starting in chest voice and going up though.
That's normal, but the problem is when you start in chest, your body tries to stay there. Then, when you go higher, you drag your chest voice with you, and that's what causes the squeeze or crack.
That explains why I always get stuck near the top.
Right, but if you start up high in your head voice, you're already in the right gear. Then you can blend down to chest and come back up more easily.
So I'm kind of tricking my voice into better balance.
Not exactly. You minimize the wanting. It is much easier to slide downhill than to climb uphill. There is much less wanting needed. You help your wanting to get out of his dictatorship.
Ah, I see.
You're setting it up for success, not fighting it. Plus, when you slide down first, your larynx settles, your breath flows better, and you bypass the brake without effort.
Got it. Start high, slide down.
Here's how you do it. Start with a gentle, light, high note, like a woo in head voice. Then slide down through your range slowly, letting it all stay relaxed. Then pause and let your system reset.
So, sliding down helps me find the right coordination first.
Yes, you're creating the coordination from the top down rather than dragging your weight up.
Okay, I'll do it now.
Perfect. That was the first exercise. The second is the yawn-sigh. It helps you release tension, open the throat, and drop the larynx gently. Think of it as giving your voice a relaxed, open pathway. It's called the vowel on yawning exercise.
Yawning?
Yawning opens up the throat, lowers the larynx, and gets rid of tension. When you combine that with the vowel, it creates the perfect setup for resonance and freedom in the voice.
So, it helps with tension.
Yes, and it teaches your body what a relaxed vocal tract feels like, especially for higher pitches. You get a rounder, more open tone with zero force. Here's how to do it. Start with the silent yawn, just let the throat open naturally and feel the soft palate lift. Then, when you exhale, gently vocalize on oo like in who. Sustain it on a mid to low comfortable pitch. Let the sound float on that open space. Then try a few short phrases or scales, keeping that yawn sensation throughout. Like this.
I do it now. Okay, this is not about volume, just ease.
Well, you did it about volume actually.
Yeah, just so.
Yes, that's the secret.
Eleonora, this has been another very, very insightful singing lesson. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Pierre. See you in the next lesson.
Give me a minute to summarize. As human beings, we consist of body, soul, and mind. We have different internal processes. We have wanting, feeling, and thinking. Wanting needs the body. Feeling takes place in the soul, and thinking takes place in the mind. Wanting and acting are basically the same thing, because wanting without body action is just daydreaming. And we have different internal languages. The language of the mind is thinking in words and sentences and using logic. The language of the soul are images. Sometimes film, or sometimes what is called GIF, that is a small series of images or a very short film. These images lead to feelings. And the language of the body are muscle movements and biochemical reactions, which then in turn result in muscle movements. And we have different states of consciousness. In the mind, we are totally awake. In the soul, we are in a dream state. That means we see what's happening, but we cannot really influence it, like dreaming. We cannot say, I want to dream this and this. And in the body, we are totally unconscious. We can lift our arm, but we have no clue which chemicals and nervous reactions we have to do there. This is true for all biochemical reactions and even some muscles. I cannot influence these muscles at will. And these are most of the vocal muscles. And there are different human pathways. We have in our mind the conscious thinking and wanting, and this sinks into the soul. The soul, as we've seen, lives in images, and the soul doesn't understand not. The soul then conveys the message it understood to the body, and the body acts upon the impulses of the soul. Too much wanting to sing high notes has consequences. The larynx, that is a voice box, rises too high, and the voice box houses the vocal folds. The vocal folds then get blocked. They should stretch and thin out smoothly. The tongue and jaw tighten and choke off the sound. And the body does it all alone, because too much wanting that's in the body. The mind and the soul are left out. Now there's a bad way to sing high notes. We start with a threatening thought in the mind. This goes down to the soul, and there it creates the horrible picture of an aggressor, which in turn goes down to the body and results in a vocal system becoming completely tense. And there's a good way to singing high notes. In the mind we should have something like let it flow, and that creates an image in the soul like a nice picture of a waterfall. We can ease the stuff for the soul when we start by consciously making that picture. This sinks down to the body and the vocal system becomes completely relaxed. Exercises to reach high notes. Create images of flow and let go in your mind's eye. They are easy to understand for the soul. Sing sirens on woo from high to low and back up. This transmit relax in the body. And oo vowel on yawning. Yawning opens the throat, lowers the larynx, gets rid of tension, and oo sets up for resonance. Do you want to sing yourself with real power and soul? Do you want to see how Eleonora nails opera, contemporary music, and songwriting? Then click the link below the video or go directly to superiorsingingcoach.com. That is superiorsingingcoach.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps the channel and you'll never miss a new video.